Psalm 1 verses 1 to 6. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law he meditates day and night. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that brings forth its fruit in its season, whose leaf also shall not wither, and whatever he does shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind drives away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Now listen, Psalm 1 is not just a poem. This is a map. Right here in 6 verses, God lays out 2 roads, 2 kinds of people, and 2 very different destinations, and he makes it plain from the very first word. The word blessed, that's how it opens. Not just happy, not just lucky, but deeply whole, favored, spiritually anchored. And what's so powerful is that the blessing is described first by what this person does not do. They don't walk in the counsel of the ungodly, they don't stand in the path of sinners, and they don't sit in the seat of the scornful. Now don't rush past that walk, stand, sit. That's a progression. That's how compromise works. It never happens all at once. First you're just passing through, then you're lingering, and then one day you look up and you belong there. Sin pulls you in gradually, and this psalm is warning you to pay attention to the drift before it becomes a destination. But then verse 2 flips it and tells you what the righteous person does do, and here's where it gets convicting. It says their delight is in the law of the Lord. Not their duty, not their obligation, their delight. There's a big difference between reading the word because you feel like you have to, and actually enjoying it, actually being fed by it, actually meditating on it day and night, turning it over in your mind, letting it sit with you on your commute, chewing on it until it becomes part of how you think and how you move. And when you do that, verse 3 says you become like a tree, not a tree just growing wild out in a field somewhere, but a tree that has been intentionally planted by rivers of water. That tree doesn't depend on rain or perfect conditions. It has a constant source. It bears fruit on time, its leaves stay green, and everything it does prospers. That right there is a picture of what a life rooted in God looks like: stable, purposeful, consistently producing even when the seasons change. But then verses 4 and 5 hit hard, because God doesn't let you forget the contrast. The ungodly? They're not trees. They're chaff. The lightweight husk that gets blown off grain. No root, no weight, no substance. The wind takes it wherever it blows, and on the day of judgment, there's nothing solid for them to stand on. And that's the sobering reality of a life with no anchor. Your values shift with culture. Your decisions are driven by whoever's in the room. You're moved by every wind of opinion and emotion because you never planted yourself anywhere deep enough to hold your ground. And then verse 6 closes it all out with the most comforting and the most sobering truth in the whole passage. The Lord knows the way of the righteous. Not just that he's aware of it. He watches over it. He's intimately involved in it. Your faithfulness in private is seen. Your obedience, when nobody's clapping, is noticed. You don't have to figure out every step because God already knows the road ahead of you. But the way of the ungodly, it perishes. It just leads nowhere lasting. So the question this psalm leaves every single one of us with is really simple. Which tree are you? Are you planted? Are your roots going deep enough that when the drought comes, when the hard season hits, when the pressure shows up, you're still standing? Because the goal isn't perfection, it's being rooted. Rooted in the Word, rooted in the right relationships, rooted in a life that's been intentionally placed near the source. Do that, stay consistent in that, and in due time in your season you will bear fruit.